after more than a decade away from the stage, Rush have finally returned with one of the most anticipated rock tours of the year. Fort Worth, Texas, became one of the first cities to witness the legendary Canadian trio's long-awaited comeback. But this tour carries far greater significance than simply celebrating the band's return. For the very first time in Rush's history, they are performing without their iconic drummer, Neilpeart, who sadly passed away in 2020. Yet, from the very first note, one thing became abundantly clear. The spirit of Rush remains very much alive. Rush's relationship with the Dallas-Fort Worth area stretches back to 1974, when they made their local debut at the now-defunct Travis Street Electric Company. Over the decades, the band built a fiercely loyal following, particularly among male fans. Their imaginative lyrics, intricate compositions, and astonishing musicianship made Rush feel like an exclusive club for lovers of progressive rock. That reputation even found its way into popular culture. In the 2009 comedy I Love You, Man, a memorable joke suggested that seeing 7 women at a Rush concert would be some sort of world record. It perfectly captured the long-standing stereotype surrounding the band's audience. More than 50 years after that first Texas performance, the stereotype still lingers, but this time there is one remarkable difference. Behind the drum kit now sits a woman. German drummer Anika Nilles has stepped into one of the most daunting roles in rock music, becoming the musician entrusted with carrying forward Neilpeart's extraordinary legacy. Her arrival signals not only a new lineup, but the beginning of an entirely new chapter in Rush's remarkable story. The Fort Worth residency got off to an unusual start after the opening show was postponed because of travel and border-related delays. As a result, Friday night became the true opening performance of the band's 4-night run at Dickies Arena. Before the concert, fans eagerly debated what the setlist might include. Judging by the 6 performances in Los Angeles, many expected each evening to feature a different selection of songs. Some nights would showcase the complete 2,112 suite. Another would feature Moving Pictures performed in its entirety, while rarities such as Natural Science and A Farewell to Kings were expected to appear across the 4 performances. Although each night's setlist varied, several moments remained constant. Xanadu once again opened the evening in spectacular fashion, while Working Man closed the show with explosive energy. Emotional tributes to Neilpeart accompanied performances of Bravado and Time Stands Still, while timeless classics including Tom Sawyer, The Spirit of Radio and Subdivisions ensured that fans heard many of the songs that have defined Rush's legacy. As the opening notes of Xanadu echoed around Dickies Arena, it became obvious that this was far more than a nostalgic reunion. Rush may have evolved, but its soul remains unchanged. Naturally, all eyes were on Anika Nilles. Few musicians have ever faced greater expectations than someone stepping into the position once occupied by Neilpeart, widely regarded as one of the greatest drummers in rock history. What made her performance so compelling was that she never attempted to become a copy of Peart. Instead, she honored his legacy while remaining true to her own identity. Gone were the enormous drum risers, tubular bells, glockenspiel, and elaborate percussion setups that became synonymous with Neil's performances. What remained was exceptional technique, remarkable precision, and an effortless confidence that allowed every song to breathe with fresh energy. Her performance demonstrated that respecting a legend does not require imitation. Sometimes the greatest tribute is simply bringing your own voice while preserving the music's original spirit. Another important addition to the band is keyboardist Lauren Gold, previously known for touring with The Who. Although he remained largely in the background, his contribution proved invaluable. By taking responsibility for the keyboard parts, Gold freed GeddyLee from standing behind synthesizers for much of the evening. The result was immediately noticeable, as Lee moved around the stage with far greater freedom than audiences had seen on previous tours. At 72 years old, GeddyLee continues to remind everyone why he remains one of rock's most distinctive bass players. Songs such as Free Will and Red Barchetta once again showcased his signature combination of melodic complexity and thunderous rhythm. His voice naturally no longer reaches every soaring note with the same ease it once did, and a few of the highest passages revealed the passing of time. Even so, his experience, passion, and unmistakable stage presence more than compensated for any vocal limitations. Meanwhile, AlexLifeson remained every bit the exceptional guitarist fans have admired for decades. During La Via Strangiato, he effortlessly blended blistering technical ability with jazz-inspired phrasing, powerful rock riffs, and subtle touches of funk, reminding everyone why he is regarded as one of progressive rock's finest musicians. Although Neilpeart is no longer physically present, his influence could be felt throughout the evening. Thoughtfully produced tribute videos honoured both the man and his extraordinary career, while GeddyLee reflected on how Neil's songwriting evolved over the years. While Rush's early lyrics often explored fantasy and science fiction, Peart gradually expanded his writing to embrace politics, philosophy, love, and the deeper questions of human existence. One of the finest examples is The Garden, an emotional masterpiece that became one of the evening's closing highlights. When the spirit of radio began, thousands of voices united in song. The moment perfectly captured the enduring power of live music. Something spontaneous and genuine in an age increasingly dominated by streaming algorithms and carefully curated playlists. Rush have always been recognized for their complex arrangements, but they also possessed a remarkable gift for writing unforgettable songs. Throughout the evening, shorter favorites such as Limelight and Tom Sawyer balanced beautifully with ambitious epics, including Xanadu and the various movements of 2112. Perhaps the evening's greatest surprise was not the extraordinary musicianship, it was the joy. AlexLifeson entertained the crowd with his trademark humour, joking about spending 2 unexpected days trapped in his hotel room following the postponed concert. The large video screens added another layer of entertainment, featuring everything from an absurd Gothic retirement home to hilarious appearances by the characters from South Park. Behind the drums, Anika Nilles smiled constantly at her bandmates. She looked less like a session musician filling an impossible vacancy, and more like someone genuinely thrilled to be part of one of rock's greatest legacies. Yet the most infectious energy came from GeddyLee himself. At the age of 72, he still bounded across the stage with remarkable enthusiasm, breaking into playful dance moves and grinning from ear to ear throughout the performance. His expression reflected the gratitude of a musician who still cannot quite believe he gets to do what he loves after more than 50 years. In the end, Fort Worth proved something truly important. Rush are not trying to recreate the past, they are continuing the journey. Neilpeart's legacy remains deeply respected, but the future of Rush is now being shaped by Anika Nilles and Lauren Gold, alongside GeddyLee and AlexLifeson. Together, they have created something that feels both familiar and refreshingly new. Technical brilliance may have built Rush's legendary reputation, but on this unforgettable night, their greatest achievement was something far simpler. They made some of the most sophisticated music ever written sound joyful, vibrant, and utterly alive. And that is perhaps the greatest reminder of all that while time moves forward, the spirit of Rush will endure for generations to come.